We're back on the SportsMax zone, and for the first time in 20 years, Trinidad and Tobago will be represented at the Wiinter Olympics after their two-man bobsled team secured qualification for the 2022 Beijing Games set for the 4th of February to the 20th. The team consisting of Mikel Thomas, Andre Marcano, Axel Brown and brothers Shamari and Shaquille John finished 9th in their most recent outing on the North American Cup Tour, guaranteeing their passage to the Winter Games. Two members of the team, pilot Axel Brown and brakeman Mikel Thomas, joining us now on the SportsMax zone. Mikel and Axel, welcome to the SportsMax zone.
Hi.
Yeah. Great to have you. Great to have you on the show. As we said, not the first time Trinidad and Tobago will be at Winter Olympic Games, but the first time in 2 decades. Mikel, let me start with you as a Summer Olympics specialist. How thrilled are you with this opportunity and the prospects for TNT in Beijing?
Definitely, it's an honor to be able to carry the flag of Trinidad and Tobago now at the winter stage. To be actually the first Summer and Winter Olympian. It's still something that's blowing my mind. But I'm looking forward to continuing the legacy of the men that have come before us and inspiring the next generation.
Have you been able to link with these team members from TNT who had been to Winter Games before?
I personally haven't been able to connect yet, but I can't wait to the day to hear some of the stories of these great men in the past, and looking forward to what they can instill in us as we get ready to take on Beijing.
Yeah, and Axel, can you talk to us quickly about the process of qualification, how difficult it was, and how confident were you throughout the process that you would actually achieve it?
Well, we positioned ourselves in the best way we could in order to maximise points. Ultimately, we come into the Olympic season with one goal and one goal only, and that's to qualify for the Olympics. So we knew what was needed of us coming in, and I knew with my experience in years prior that I had the ability to drive us to an Olympic spot. But of course, what I needed then was athletes that would be able to push me and get in the sled with me, both for the races that we've had and also, obviously, the upcoming Olympics. So that's been the hardest part, is kind of finding guys that have both the attitude and aptitude to get in the sled and for us to perform well. And thankfully, we found a few great athletes and accomplished exactly that.
Axel, how difficult was it to decide to return to your mother's birthplace and represent Trinidad and Tobago?
It wasn't difficult at all. It was an absolutely easy decision. I could have qualified for the Olympics for either nation, and it's absolutely the right choice to have done it for Trinidad and Tobago. It's been so fulfilling. I've had more fun, more enjoyment, and indeed more success in this one season now than I had in my entire career prior. So, yeah, when it boils down to it, it's easy to look back on it and say it was the right decision. It's been tricky at times, making everything kind of work in such a short period of time. Everything was condensed, obviously because of COVID, but ultimately we've been able to make it happen, and it's been the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, Mikel, how have preparations been coming along, and how ready are we to medal when we head to the Winter Olympics next month?
You know, we like to talk about medals, but let's think about, 20 years away from the sport. I think the first step is making sure that we have a really good finishing and making sure that we're laying down the foundation for the next generation so that we can be there in Milano, Cortina, and everything else that comes after that. This year, if you think about the region between us and Jamaica, we have more sleds on the ice than ever before. So I'm really excited for Trinidad and Tobago and the region itself.
Yeah, Mikel, your first Olympic experience was in the Summer Olympics, as we've said. Also in Beijing, when you were a semi-finalist in the sprint hurdles. Obviously, the potency of Caribbean athletes at the Summer Olympics significantly more pronounced than the Winter Games. What would represent success? First, Mikel, then Axel could comment on this for TNT in Beijing, because to be realistic, winning medals for Caribbean teams at these Winter Olympics seems far-fetched.
Yeah, I think the first step is the fact that I can end my Olympic campaign in the same city that it started is like a story unheard of. Only God could write that. I think for us is, finishing in the top 20 would be a really good accomplishment. And if we could consistently lower that mark year after year, then we can really start talking about moving and shaking medals. But the first thing is making sure that we have an appearance, and then the next step is being consistently lowering that. And I think this is the right phases in that journey. Ax?
Yeah, Axel, your thoughts on what would success be for TNT in Beijing?
Yeah, I think Mikel hit the nail on the head. In terms of positions, realistically, top 20 would be our goal. So 30 sleds are going to be in the race. And of those 30, everybody gets 3 runs. And the 4th and final run only goes to the top 20. So we plan on being there right until the end, right until the last run. That's our realistic goal. But aside from that, we want to make a splash. We want to show that Trinidad and Tobago is here. We're respectable. We perform well, and that we do it with a smile on our face. So we want to perform well on the ice, but we also want to represent Trinidad and Tobago to the best of our ability, and just let the world know that we're here and we're doing this.
Yeah, earlier today I had the opportunity to interview some of the Jamaican athletes that will be taking part. I spoke to the president there back in Haiti. And you know, one of the things that stood out to me the most is the fact that these athletes that are getting ready for the Winter Olympics, they're facing a lot of financial challenges. Do you find yourself in the same situation where the Winter Olympics are concerned, or just preparation-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the sport of bobsleigh is by its very nature incredibly expensive. Just shipping our sled to and from the Olympics is looking at costing us around 20,000 euros, which is 28 to 30,000 US dollars. So it's a very expensive sport, and so that's one of the huge challenges. Not only do we have to be adept at what we do on the ice, but we also have to make it work financially, and we rely entirely on the help of sponsors and people that can help us out to get there. Without any of that, we'd be hamstrung realistically.
Yeah, our Axel and Mikel, thanks for talking to us here on the SportsMax Zone. You have just over 2 weeks now before the Winter Olympics start in Beijing. We wish your final stages of preparation all the best, and we hope to be in touch with you in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, that's Mikel and Axel getting ready to represent Trinidad and Tobago at the Beijing Winter Olympics. We go to break. More to come on the Zone after this.